Hello. I'm sure that there we go. It's gonna be dark, but yeah, I was thinking this is my last day working at Safeway. They put up the schedule. I'm not on it. I put my 2 weeks in on the 29th. Figured I'd be good till the 14th. Coworkers were saying that I'd probably be working for whatever reason till the 16th. They didn't put me on the schedule for that, so that was my 2 weeks, I guess. And you know what? That's fine. Worked there for over a year, but I'm moving to another state. But yeah, this last day was interesting. They had been putting me, or last week even, was putting me on a bunch, really, not even just 2 days, just quite a few, just half shifts, which is fine. It is what it is. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for them. I don't know how they're gonna handle it because they're down so many people and their expectations are just, it's insane. So, oh well. But I worked hard. I got my stuff done. Yeah, it's just, I would have stayed, quite honestly, working probably like 15 hours for my last day and so give some by to people and whatnot, but not that many people were there because everybody just been cut. It's a bizarre situation, and yeah, and then just like people just don't care. That's really what it is. And I just leave in boxes and overstock and that kind of stuff, which people were telling me not to do, and that wasn't me. So I just think it's funny how there's no accountability not there. No direction, no leadership. It's pretty sad. But yeah, just wanted to make this video, just documenting this is what happened as far as for me. But yeah, this is how it is for me. It's when I worked at Safeway. It was good for the most part. But yeah, there was definitely issues with scheduling quite often, and issues with how management would handle things and managers and whatnot. And it got to a point where I just felt like, I gotta figure out what I want to do, and I had a whole idea of this could be a potential career. I could stay where I'm at, but after being given multiple chances on moving up and realizing that, they were just saying that just to fill the spot, but trying to pull a fast one. Like, they had told me I was going to be backup manager of night crew. I ended up doing the work, was told I was backup, this and that, and I would be getting a $10 raise, and they didn't. I never got paid for that. Same thing with being frozen manager. Told me I was going to be frozen manager. You can do that, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah. I asked for the application when I went up asking for the position, and they told me, no, there's no application really for it. And I said, I'd feel better if there was an application. No, I'm not giving you an application for that, which I thought was very odd that they were denying me just do an official application just for it to be official. And there's supposed to be a $3 raise on that, which would have made it $20 an hour, just about, maybe a little under. But yeah, I never got paid for that either, and I did that for 4 weeks. And after that, I was just like, you know what, this job is just not worth it. and I was doing frozen, and it was insane. I ended up spending like about $300 on equipment, so like a nice jacket, keep me warm, a couple of gloves. I had to buy a couple of different gloves to see which one would work best, because gloves just are pretty hard to find for frozen, which ones are actually good that you can still face the product, but also which ones are keep you actually warm. So I had to buy a couple of those. And basically I had to work with 2 gloves. That's what I found. So yeah, and then I already had non-slip boots that kept my feet warm, but if I was wearing, and I found this out the hard way, wearing just regular shoes, my toes would be cold, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they didn't provide anything. They provided these really bad gloves that they use for like dairy and whatnot, but if you're in frozen, oh my gosh, if you're in frozen, dude, those things do not work at all. It's actually worse, makes it worse than not wearing gloves, because the gloves that they have are made of a fabric that soaks in the water. So if you got like dealing with ice, or even like ice cream, then that kind of stuff is thawing out, your hands are going to be completely drenched in just cold water. It's just not good. So I was kind of frustrated with that basically they wouldn't pay me back on it, that kind of stuff. It was a mess. And I basically went back to night crew after that. And after that, you're doing night crew, and all the hard work that I'd done when I was supposedly backup manager, all that was undone. Back room was not cleaned, even though it was said it was getting cleaned. It was not being touched. Stuff was just stacked on the carts insanely high. You couldn't even move the carts out, unless you didn't care about ruining product, having product fall on the ground, because that was the only way. Had to downstack stuff off those carts onto another cart that was empty. Just a lot of just hard work, making work harder, making the job harder. And it was like so I tried getting them back up to speed on that. Even had some of the managers during the day crew helping out with that, but nobody's going to be, from what I've seen, nobody's going to be taking the time, the leadership, the accountability, the ownership to ask for help, or be making sure everybody's doing everything. That's just not going to happen, especially with like me being here on the last day, and people are just leaving stuff, throwing it on the ground and leaving it there, and not cleaning up, just throwing empty boxes on the ground. It's just, and leaving it for the next person. And it's just going to be absolutely a mess. So I ended up leaving. Like I said, this was my last day working on moving to another state, which I think I probably would have done anyways, if the frozen manager job did work out and worked out well, and I was actually trained, because I wasn't trained that well at all. Problem also was that they were also playing favorites. They had always told me that you can't bring out the pallets on the floor at all, and they were allowing the previous manager, which is now the manager of Frozen again, for him to pull out the pallets. It's not a problem. You can't really do the job if you're not pulling out the pallets onto the floor, and everybody does that. So how come I was the one that was told not to do that? I was told not to do that when I had been doing the training for electric pallet jacks. Yeah, It might have been like, oh, it was for just manual jacks. No, it was just told it was, or it might have just been told just because I was using electric jacks. No, that I had asked for clarification, and it was for manual jacks as well, just not a single pallet out on the floor, whether the store is open or not. So yeah, so this has just been really, last couple months, it's just been an absolute shit show, and it's just been absolutely nuts, and just the expectations versus the reality, it's just so far that it's just blown out of proportion. Now there's only 2 people working nights, and it's actually going to probably go down to, I know it's going to go down to 1 at some point soon. And Frozen's going to be, Frozen Mancer's going to be leaving soon. He's moving to another state as well, getting a house over there. So it's just insane, the amount of people that are leaving. Almost everybody's leaving. There's going to be getting some people that are coming back because of college, because this is a college town that I live in. But it's just going to be absolutely nuts. I don't know what's gonna happen with the store. Managers are they just seem like not care. But it is what it is. I don't really, it's not my problem, I guess. It sucks, because I do take pride in my work, that this is really how it's become, and it's literally just nobody wanted to take ownership and accountability. And when there's something wrong and somebody goes to say, this and that, they confront the person and accuse them and don't really have all the facts, which doesn't really work. Now, if you have the facts, that's good. But if you're looking at the cameras, but these people don't really even look at the cameras, they just accuse and point fingers at somebody else because they don't want the blame. And it's just, it's really absurd how that's come. I've had that happen to me, where I was told that I never told anybody that I had left. I literally got on with one of the managers at the time, who brought in for looking at the cameras, and looked at it, and I was like, dude, this is just so obvious that I had told them. And it wasn't even just one person, it was 2 people. They all knew, but what they do, they decided to say, well, you never told us. And it was just so obvious. And immediately right after, when I said, how come did you guys really not know, not remember? And they were like, oh yeah, you did. At least one of the people did, the other person didn't. Just didn't really say anything about it. I let it go. But it was really, this is gonna be nuts. And basically, it's just been just a downward spiral, really. It's just a downward plunge. And it sucks, because I hate to see a store go that route when I'm leaving. Usually that's not necessarily the case for me. Usually when I'm leaving the store, it's in better shape. But for whatever reason, it's just this is how the store is. I've seen it ran very well when I first was there, but it started getting worse and worse and worse, and it's just the amount of disrespect that goes around in the store is just absolutely nuts, and the amount of complaints, arguments, and it's just absolutely nuts. I would not work at that location again unless I absolutely had to, if I needed to get income. But yeah, it was crazy. I think, quite honestly, that this store location this is how the stores ran. I've worked at temporarily during the Christmas time at the other store in this town, and that store was ran pretty well. It seemed very organized, very, very good. So it was absolutely a breeze working at for that day, and I don't know why that store, which is a bigger store, can be ran so much better than the other stores. So it shows just management, the issues there and whatnot. But it is what it is. I also know not everybody's perfect. But yeah, I'm excited to be moving, and maybe I'll be working at the Safeway up there and see how that is, since it's close by, and that one's gotten a pretty good reputation, and I've been in that store too, and it's been pretty good. So yeah. Anyways, just want to make this quick video documenting last day. And yeah, that's it for me. I ended that night cruise. So yeah, have a great day.